Hello and welcome to Squib TV. I'm Samuel Layton and I'm joined by James Cartwright, and today we're going to talk about
the New York Jets.
So last season was probably one to forget for Jets fans. I don't think they've done an awful lot in terms of building them for next season. I hope they prove me wrong, because I always think the Jets can be quite a decent side, and when there's a competitive AFC East, it's always a fun division to watch. So hopefully the Jets can be up there. What do you think that they've done this season and last season which excites you or disappoints you?
Yeah, I don't want to be like a bummer on the Jets, because they aren't one of the best teams in the NFL, let's be honest. It's a disappointing time for that side. But I want to talk about the defence. I think they've been fairly solid. I mean, we've got them here 11th ranked last season. You listen to some of the decent players in there. Leonard Williams, top player they got in the draft a few seasons ago.
Yeah, very good player.
Sheldon Richardson, who's been there for a number of seasons. I can recall him being there years ago. Obviously, Mohamed Wilkerson as well. But the big one, they've lost Darrell Revis. I don't know how much of an impact that will make. I mean, I don't think he was quite the height he was a few seasons ago.
Yeah, I don't think Revis Island was quite as big as it used to be last year. It was more like a little small island, which you probably wouldn't mind going to if you're a QB. He lost a step, wasn't as good as he was. Another one I want to mention, just of losing David Harris, the middle linebacker, and even worse for the Jets, him going off to New England as well. He'd been a solid linebacker for a number of years for them. Defensively, though, I think is not the concern for the Jets. I think they've got
in the draft they've picked up Jamal Adams, who was spoke about very highly. Apparently one of the most complete players coming out of the draft, who actually can slot straight into that safety position in the NFL.
Yeah, and we talk about these defensive players that the Jets already have. Very solid at the front, a bit worse in the secondary. Someone like Jamal Adams can come in, maybe he can change the game a little bit. Talking about losing someone like Darrell Revis as well, perhaps he can not obviously slot into the cornerback position, but a little bit more cover in the secondary, which I think is going to be positive for the Jets. Defensively, like I say, I don't think it's as much of a concern. I think they are going to be able to stay in games in 2017 simply because they have that defence which is going to be able to stop teams scoring quite as frequently. Now, the issue I have with the Jets is offensively there's not an awful lot going on there. What do you think of the Jets in the offence?
Right, I'm just going to sort of wait and just let a barrel of hate come over me, because honestly I was looking at this offence online, and I'm sure all these players are probably missing out some sleepers here, but I was looking through that offence and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I've seen a worse offence in the time I've watched the NFL. That's about 7-8 years. I mean, maybe you can dispute this with me, but the likes of Matt Forte, he's an old guy, he's getting on, putting the weight of the franchise in terms of the offence onto his shoulders. QB, they haven't got one. I mean, there isn't one there who's going to win them games. So, sorry to be so damning.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you in terms of them being weak. I don't know if they're the worst offense I've ever seen.
Yeah, maybe I'm overreacting just on the basis.
Then again, I mean, we haven't seen them play yet. But I think, they've not necessarily got the best players. Like you said, Forte getting on. Bilal Powell is a shining light. He had a very good season.
Yeah, he's all right.
I think he'll probably do well next season. But then again, you're talking Josh McCown's coming in. This is the third or fourth team he's had in about 3 or 4 years where he comes in as a stopgap guy. He's struggled with his health the last few seasons as well. Is he going to be able to stay there for the season? He's going to be able to start for the season. If he is, why? I mean, I understand why you don't want to put Bryce Petty or Christian Hackenberg in to a side that's going to struggle, giving them a bad taste of it, perhaps like knocking the confidence out of them. But I think, Bryce Petty, when he played last season, he wasn't necessarily too bad. Wide receivers, I'll be totally honest, I can't name a single one, especially seeing as Brandon Marshall's left. I think the Jets certainly offensively is what they need to improve on. The defence will keep them in games, and if, like you say, they've got some sleepers there, some wide receivers that we don't necessarily know
I was looking at the wide receiver depth, and I didn't recognise any. I apologise. Obviously, they're people who've not done anything in the league so far in terms of making serious yards. But we'll see. Maybe the sleepers. Maybe the people who surprise us.
I think, like we're saying, the defence is going to keep them in games. If the offence can put some points on the board, whether these receivers start playing well, whether it's just Forte and Powell just ploughing through, getting the job done, I think they could. I don't think they'll be contenders. I think they might win a few games. It's a tough division. I don't think they'll win the division. I'm just by the simple fact that the Patriots are in that division. I don't think any other team other than the Patriots is going to win that division. The Bills and the Dolphins, I also think, are quite strong. In terms of the Finns, obviously a playoff team, which I think has improved. Bills got the Circus Rex Ryan, which Jets fans know all too well about. He's finally out of the organisation. So definitely, though, I think the Jets could be in the position where the Panthers were in a few seasons. Obviously, me being a Panthers fan, we went 2 for 14. And then drafted in Cam, and ever since then it's been pretty much not constant success, but a few playoff appearances. The Jets could just be rebuilding the offense. I think if that's the case, solid defense. This could be a team watching the few years. I don't think 2017 is going to be your year, but in a few years, who knows where the Jets will be. All it takes is a couple of these receivers to break out, a couple of decent running backs, and if they can get a QB who can sling it, then they could be a side. I mean, anything you want to add on the Jets?
Not particularly, no.
Not particularly. Well, if you are a Jets fan, you want to tell us some of these guys that perhaps we don't know about, you're expecting big things of, please do comment on the YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe to Squib TV, like us. Also follow us on Twitter at Squib_TV. Let us know exactly what you think of the Jets. Do you think they're going to be there or thereabouts this season? Do you think it is a rebuilding year? Thank you very much for watching.
It's a touchdown.